So we're going to get going. Thank you all so much for joining. Feel free to chat in the little chat in here. My name is Becky, by the way, if I haven't met you. We've got about 30 people here. So that's pretty awesome. I'm really excited for that. And we'll go through and do some introductions. Maybe we'll do some introductions on here. This meet is going to feel a little more, I don't want to say formal, that's not the right word, more like information and not so much like a collaboration. And that's only because it's our first time meeting, but then we're going to have monthly meets. And I do want to keep it at a meet because I want everyone to feel like we all have voice in this. This is not just, Georgina, Vicky, Bonnie, Jared, and I sharing what we know. We actually want to learn together and support each other through all of this. So we're going to stick with meet unless for some reason, there's a big request to switch to doing YouTube Live. I don't see that happening. So there will be more opportunities in the future where we'll have more focused meets and people can come and share ideas, share challenges, share what's working, all of that. So just know that today's going to be a little different than the rest. But like I said, I'm Becky. I'm in Southern California. I'm one of the GEG SoCal co-leaders. I am an instructional coach in Newhall School District, which is up in Santa Clarita. And I've been an instructional coach. I'm going on my 3rd year. But the program is similar to this with quite a few different differences. So I'm excited to play with the new coaching certificate with all of you. Mm-hmm. And we'll go up to Georgina next. We'll just kind of do a little loop.
All right, so if there's anybody on the call that doesn't know me yet, I am Georgina Dean, and I am living in Amman, Jordan, in the Middle East, if anybody didn't know where that was, on the other side of the planet for many. And I'm basically working at a nonprofit K-12 international school here. I support them with their digital strategy and their digital transformation, and so it's really exciting. Time to be a leader here in the Middle East. And then also I'm the leader for GEG Amman and one of the amazing global GEG leaders. So super awesome communities. And now we're here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Georgina. Vicky, have you had a chance to join us yet?
I haven't admitted her, I don't believe.
Okay. I don't want to introduce Vicky if she's not able to make it today. Like I said, work happens. I totally get that. Vicky is a a coach in New York City, or right outside of New York City. So she'll be joining us and she'll be supporting. She's actually put together some great things for this group. So if you don't get to meet her today, you will get to meet her at another time. And let's come over here to Jared.
Hi, I'm Jared Johnson. I'm a digital learning coach in Lexington, South Carolina, for Lexington School District 1. And I'm also the leader of GEG South Carolina, and so I'm very excited to be here. I've actually been a coach through the Dynamic Learning Project for the last 3 years, so I'm happy to be here to help and lend any expertise that I can.
Yeah, Jared's going to be like our Q&A and kind of give us the down and dirty of the whole coaching certificate, because it's been his life for 3 years, which is super cool. All right. Last but not least.
Hey, I'm Bonnie Chalette. I am the leader of the South Louisiana GEG. I do the global GEG, and I'm really, really happy to be here. I'm a technology facilitator in East Baton Rouge Parish in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think, once again, just to reiterate, Becky has done a tons of work. We all have done a lot of work, but thanks to Becky for organizing all this, because I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Me too. So actually, that was a perfect segue into what is the purpose of this? Yeah, I loved it. What's the purpose of the EC Open Chat? Why did we start this? How did it get started? All of that. And basically, it started with a Twitter comment between Georgina and someone else might have been on that. And then I jumped in and I was like, we need a group for this, because as coaches, I feel like I've been in this role for 3 years. And every time I talk to another coach, we're doing very different work from one another. And then trying to navigate going through this new certificate, it's definitely not one of those come and take a test and move on. it's come and go through the curriculum. And I was like, I feel like I'm going to need more support in this. So what do? We put something out on Twitter and 100+ people signed up. And so I was like, oh, clearly, clearly we needed a space for this. So it is a collaborative effort, but if anyone else wants to jump in and share their why, mine is truly just to grow and learn from each of you as I go through the process, because I'm not a Google certified coach. I want to make that very clear. I am not. I'm going through the process with many of you at the same time. So Jared or Bonnie or Georgina, you want to kind of give a little bit of your why for what brought you into this group?
Yeah, I just saw Becky posted it, and I didn't know a lot about it. I was looking through the modules, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if somebody would help us with this? And then there we were. And I know they put this together very quickly. And just like I said, this is just a very, very supportive group, I believe, to help everybody get through this new thing. Because you don't have a place to go and just ask questions, and now you do.
Exactly.
And then for me, my why is pretty cool. Basically, I participated also in the DLP coaching project at Christmas time. And so, but it was obviously across time zones. And so I did it virtually from my laptop. And I actually met one of the people when I went to Bet UK conference in January, and I got really excited. And it's also when I got my copy of the book study that we're going to be going through together. So I was really excited about that. But the most thing that I like, the key takeaway or insight for me from the whole pilot project was that everybody is doing things differently. And so I think my perspective, because I'm in the Middle East, is a little different. And I'm hoping to be able to take away all of the amazing things that you guys are doing in your regions. And I'll be able to share what's working well in my region. And hopefully it'll help us all become super awesome coaches all together. So that's my why.
Perfect. And Jared, that leaves you.
Okay, sorry, it was breaking up on me, so I don't know if it was me or what was happening. My why, I was lucky enough to be part of the Dynamic Learning Project since its conception in 2017. And the one thing that has really taught me is that, building your PLN is very important, because you can learn, like everybody said, you can learn from each other. That's what I'm here for, and to help, because coaching can feel like you're isolated depending on, what your role has been in your district or things like that. So I was very lucky to have a lot of mentors through the program. And then just being able to work with the PLN that we had built in for those that were part of the Dynamic Learning Project was great, because it's good to have ideas to bounce off other people. So you get kind of isolated in your school or your district. And so it's good to have outside perspectives. And so when this came up, already being a certified coach through the program, I wanted to be able to help. So like I was helped throughout the program. I want to give back and help as many people as I can through the process too. Because I felt like I was an island all onto myself a lot of times through it. So I want to be able to help any way that I can.
Yeah, definitely. And we're incredibly excited for that. So thank you all. The only last thing I will add in here is another why that I had that I didn't mention. Not only are we coming at this from different places, but we're not all coaches in this group. I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, I do read every single chat. I don't comment on all of them just because I really didn't have time, but I will try to. But we're not all teachers. And so I know for some people that's been frustrating. Like, am I even able to do this? Even if you aren't able to apply, you can still go through the entire process. And who knows, like if you want to become a coach, how cool would it be to say, like, I've gone through this process, and talk to your admin and work with other teachers in that same position who are in the classroom and can't work with 8 to 10 teachers at a time. For me, it's going to look very different. I'm at a district office. I'm working with 10 sites. So mine's not going to look the same as Jared, and Jared is supporting at one school. So we're all going to be sharing our different insights into this curriculum. All right, and I agree, Stephanie. You need 10 of you. I 100% agree. I need 10 of you as well. I would like 9 of you in my district. So So I'll take that. All right, so we're going to dive into the book study, and I'm going to actually have Georgina take over. I don't want to scare you. You did not have to read anything for this today.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, we're not actually diving in. We're more of like taking a super excited, initial splash, okay, just to introduce the book study. But yeah, no direct dive, let's say. In fact, the slides aren't quite finished just yet either. So we're going to drop those probably tomorrow morning for you guys. But we're excited about this. I have a really big passion for book studies. One of the ways that we encourage professional learning at my own K-12 school is through book studies. So we basically vote on different books that we would like to read and learn and grow together with, and then we develop a book study program. So I will be asking and have a think about it while you guys are going through today's presentation together. I will be looking for people to help me moderate the book study. So we'll go through what it looks like in a second. So there will be opportunities for everybody to jump in and support. It's a really fun process and very exciting. So this is basically the book that we're studying. It's on the screen. And it's in front of my face now, if you're looking. And so, yeah, awesome. If you have the book, maybe somebody can grab a photo, although that's not really fair because some people's books haven't arrived yet, so I shouldn't say that. But if you have it, yeah, that's awesome. And then basically, I'm just going to do a little, what do we call this? Like a little flyby? No, what would you call this if I do this to show people the inside of the book? So just to give you an idea, there's tons of awesome stuff in there. Okay, text, visuals, graphs, photographs, examples of learning, examples of resources, how to do them, and interaction. I'm really grateful to have this because it's not possible to get this in my country right now, either as an ebook or to get it shipped here. Oh, Devin's got it on his, what is that, Kindle? You're really tiny on my screen.
That's my phone. Does it look like that big? Wow. Okay. Or maybe I just have big hands. I don't know.
Well, that was really awkward, Devin. I wasn't ready for that. That was like a woo. Okay. All right. So back to, basics. No, but that's awesome, Devin. So for those of you on the call today, if you're not able to get it, I know that we had talked about that for some people in some countries that just may not be able to get the book, especially with COVID and there's no shipments going on right now. And so I know we're going to be looking into trying to get a hold of the author whose bio is on the left side of the book right now. Obviously, you don't need to read it, but it's basically the synopsis that I actually took. It's inside the book and it's also on Amazon. About the author. Jenny's a really inspirational author, and she recently just started working for Google a few months ago. So you may have already known that, or you may have heard about her. But she is a published author, and she had a really big part in DLP. And I don't want to say too much because Jared's apparently her awesome friend already. I know they have selfies together from her work with Jared. And so I think he knows her more than me. But I was really excited to go through the book study virtually before I'd had the book when I was doing the pilot. And it's a really great way to get examples about how we can actually implement this whole idea of what being a coach is and how we can support the people in our school communities in order to help them with their ed tech integration. So she's really inspiring, and I hope that we're able to bring all of that out during our book study together. So I won't read that off the screen. You're welcome to read it yourselves, but basically she's a TEDx speaker, an author, Apple teacher. She's really well known. I'm sure most people on the call know her or have at least heard of her. Okay, so that is our book, and that is our lovely author, Jenny Magera. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. Great. Actually, is it possible for me to share my screen, or can you do a share tab of that screen, Becky, so that they can hear the audio and then play it? Is that okay? Awesome. So yeah, great.
Sorry, I'm talking on mute. Yeah, it is a share tab, so let me know if y'all can't hear.
The time to make AI work for you is now. AI can fundamentally change what's
We can just
possible
skip
for
the
you to
ad
achieve
as much
with
as
your
I'm all about AI.
Well, hold
Yeah,
on.
thanks.
Let's hear her out. Hold on to that.
End of our day. And we've heard so many great examples of how we need to think outside of the box, how it's so important for us to empower our students to take control of their own learning and have that agency, right? And I remember the first time that I ever heard anyone talk about this. It was from this old British guy on YouTube. Maybe you've heard of him. Sir Ken Robinson. He's made a few cameos today, hasn't he? And I remember watching this video over and over and over again and thinking to myself, what he's really talking about is student empowerment, giving our students the room and freedom to explore their curiosity and to be who they want to be. And I thought, I need to empower my students. So I said, tomorrow I am going to go to school and I am going to do this. And the problem was that tomorrow became the next day and the next day and the next day, until a year went by and tomorrow had yet to come. And it wasn't because I didn't believe in this idea of student empowerment, but it was that as a classroom teacher with all of the other things on my plate, I had no idea where to start.
So the last word there was where to start. And so I hope that was an inspiring start from Jenny McGarrett for all of you, basically talking about the whole reason and our why. We all shared our whys with you at the beginning of today's session, and each one of you will have your own why for becoming a Google EC, a coach. And so we want to think about, hopefully for all of us, that the students are at the center of our whys. And as I was listening and re-listening to that section of her 18-minute TED Talk again, I was thinking to myself, that is exactly what we also want to give to our staff, to our educators, to our communities, to the people that we will be coaching and supporting. And so basically everything that she has said there, that we want to empower the students, we also want to think about how are we going to empower the community of educators and staff and leaders that we're working with, and formulating and empowering that idea notion of curiosity to use and to take risks and to create a safe environment for them. So I found that really powerful. You can watch the whole episode, it's in the deck, and so it's only about 18 minutes, but I definitely would recommend that it's a brilliant kickstart to the whole process is to listen to her talk. Okay, next slide, please. And guys, please, if there's any questions throughout any of this, please just drop them in the chat as you go. And then when we switch speakers, we can definitely help you guys answer that, okay? All right, so what is the book study? Basically, the book study is a study of the chapters. Obviously, that's probably not new for everybody who's already educated. And so we're going to study the book, and we're basically going to unpack all of the googly EdTech goodness together, literally, okay? It's really exciting. When I did the pilot program, that's literally what they did. They had the book study online, and teachers from all of the different DLP programs, in fact, I'm sure I had communicated with Jared, and we probably didn't even know during that time when the book study was live. So what we're going to do is we're going to meet bi-weekly. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, or in the afternoon, depending on time zones, you'll find an extra slide popped in here with the slide deck for the slow chat. So our first book study meetup will be on the 22nd of July at 6 a.m. and that is PD time. Don't ask me what that time is in anybody else's zone, because Georgina is not good at time zones, okay? Just going to throw that out there. But it's 6 a.m. PDT, and then it will be every second week. So every second Wednesday we will meet. So basically tomorrow I'll drop you guys the slide deck for the book studies, and then every 2 weeks you'll have it in advance. So tomorrow I'll drop it, and then you'll have almost 2 weeks up until the 22nd of July, and it will be slow chat responses. So we'll use Google Slides as the deck, as a medium, and I will post the questions there with instructions on the top, and basically you'll be able to read the question. There could be like an image also to inspire, or a YouTube link. I'm really known for dropping in resources. And then there will be slides underneath each question where each of you can answer on a slide. You can either take your own slide, or you can be multiple people on one slide. As much space as you need, basically, since it's a G Suite application, for you to engage with the question, share, respond, ask questions. So in order to contribute, you will use the Google slide to contribute your responses. And then if you would like to engage with people, you'll use the comments on the right-hand side. It's usually really powerful because then you can go back and forth and have discussions about different points that people have made on parts of their responses. So it's been really successful in the past. I'm also really open to new ideas, or if we want to add anything extra. So let's just explore the slide deck as it comes out tomorrow to you guys. And then I know Becky, or maybe Becky hasn't said, but I'm sure Becky will say that we're really open to feedback. And so we can always adapt as we go and add things to that as well.
Hey, where are we going to share this? Are we going to put in the share drive or the slide deck?
We'll put it in, Georgina will add the link to the slides in the slide deck, and then it'll get shared in the shared drive and in the chat.
Okay,
Everywhere.
Got it. We had a question. I was just trying to keep it going.
Thanks, Becky. No, that's cool. Yes, so the slide deck will be shared, and then by tomorrow there'll be a little yellow slide after this red one, and it will have the book study links for you. So the book study itself will not be embedded in this presentation deck. It will link to another slide deck, and every chapter will have its own slide deck. You'll see when it comes out, there'll be like a little table of contents. It's really cool, and everything is easy to follow along. And then we have the extra mile. So I'm all about the extra mile. And again, the book study, just to be clear, I should have probably said that at the beginning, is a completely optional part of the Google EC program. So you guys don't have to do this. I was just really excited, as I mentioned before, about book studies and wanted to share and offer that. But you don't have to study. So just feel free. If you would like to participate and you'd like to go the extra mile, I will, with my awesome Googly partners, drop in some awesome challenges along the way. So one week may be like a Flipgrid, or 1 week may be like a Twitter challenge, or 1 week may be something else. And then if people participate and then there could be winners, we thought something that might be super meaningful for everybody would be for Jared and myself, and anybody else, maybe Steph R would like to as well. Anybody else who's already in that coaching role, we would offer a free coaching session that people could win with us for an hour to get support. So you are welcome to participate if you'd like, and we'll go from there. But again, this is brand new, and you guys are all creative problem solvers and innovators. So if there's other stuff that you would love to see as part of the book study program as well, other initiatives, other games as we go along, please feel free to give feedback, and we are happy to adapt. And that is it for Georgina.
Awesome. I'm really excited about the book study. I got mine. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm ready to. So I'll be playing along with everyone else. And
I'm excited to reread it again.
Yeah. All right. The next part we have in here is a Wakelet. So Vicky put together a Wakelet. We haven't seen her yet, have we? Bonnie?
No, we haven't. Sorry, I'm muted. No, I haven't seen her.
I can pretend to be her again.
Perfect, Rick. Take it away. No, and like I said, if you can't make it, we record these, so we're all good. But what happened was Vicky jumped on board and she was like, I'm going to start a Wakelet. Like, how can I help? We can have a place to put everything. Like, she just jumped right in. I was like, cool. All right. Come join us because you've got some ideas to add, and not that nobody else does. We all have ideas, which is awesome. And that's what I'm loving about this group. I think I've got probably like 75 messages from people saying, what more can I do and how can I help? And I love that. So we're all going to do this together. And I see the Wakelet link is in there. And the one I shared with you might not be the one that you can add to, so you might have to check that. But what's going to happen is she's organized the Wakelet. Oops, let me see if I can open it up. Share this tab instead. Hopefully you're seeing the Wakelet tab she put together. But it's going to be shared so that we have all of our resources in one place. And we're able to come in here. You'll see, I mean, she's added a lot of resources to this Wakelet. So you have the choice of coming in here and adding to the Wakelet, looking at things in here. And I'll have her give a little blurb about this in the open chat as well. but another place for you to have your resources. So the Wakelet is an option to find resources and share resources, especially articles, things that might not necessarily be in the curriculum. All of that is in here for you. We also have the shared drive. Let me share this tab instead. So you all have access to the shared drive. Please come in here and add resources. I'm just adding them as I go through the curriculum, and we'll talk more about curriculum at another date. But add resources in here, come and add your questions. They're not going to be answered by any official Google employee, but we can go in and answer questions for each other, because there's going to be questions that we have. I run into questions all the time when I'm coaching, and I'm like, I don't know how to help here. Someone give me a resource, give me an idea. Throw those in the Q&A. But otherwise, the book study resources will also be in here. Coaching curriculum, everything is in here. Yeah, always grid view. Yeah, sorry. Won't be changing that on my end. And then the open chat. I know the open chat can cause some anxiety for people, but I've thought about this a lot, and I've legit not been able to go to sleep thinking about how can we organize this, make life easy. I wish it was like Slack, all of that. And then I realized we don't need to. This is an open chat with an open chat room. And so my thought is, if you want to come and throw an idea in here, throw it in here. And if someone answers, awesome. If you're able to answer, awesome. We had a chat the other day where it was asking about PD and using Zoom and going into breakout rooms. It wasn't working, and people were able to jump in and give tips and advice. Throw these in here. And if you can't keep up with it, that's okay. I don't expect you to read everything. I probably will, because I won't be able to sleep knowing that there's 20 messages I haven't read.
Unread messages.
Yeah, unread messages, the little dots, they don't work for me in my life. They drive me nuts. So I will read them. I'll stick with one main thread, but if you add a new thread, no harm, no foul. Just know that I'll always go back to the one thread. So use it as you need it. It is a no stress environment completely. And you don't have to keep up with it. No one will sit there and judge and be like, why didn't you see my message from 2 weeks ago where it was 500 people long? So those are the resources that are available. Use what works for you, and don't feel like you have to keep up with everything. All right. Oh, okay. I'm really, really excited for this. Before I get into that, I was really excited, and then I saw a question I do want to answer. Have you already been invited to the shared drive? You should have been. So check your shared drive. It should be in there. If it's not, reach out to me, either through DM, through something. I won't be writing names down right now. So if someone else, Bonnie, if you want to write down names in here, we can. Otherwise, you can email or however you need to get in touch with me, or through the open chat. We'll make it work. Can you see this slide where I'm in the jelly? Cool. I see head nodding. We're going to do a Grape Jam. If you have started the curriculum at all, this is one of the first activities. And I figured what better way to practice an activity than to do it together. So I don't want to say you're all guinea pigs, but you are. And hopefully this helps when you go to do a Grape Jam with other teachers. And I know Jared's going to be jumping in and helping. Also, he added this little Bitmoji the other day, and it just made me so happy. So what a Grape Jam is it's kind of a platform, and it's a way, let me open the protocols tab up. Here's this is in our shared drive, so you'll be able to follow along with this, but it's just a way to get your teachers together to gather the different challenges and help teachers sort out their challenges. I don't know if you've ever been in an environment where you have to go in and help a teacher and they don't know where to start. You're like, okay, so I'm here to help you. What challenges do you have? And they're like, I don't know, this kid's grades aren't so great. And you're like, okay, so let's look at the data. And it's just, you kind of feel like you're pulling teeth. So I'm really excited to try this because it's not so much pulling teeth. And I'll share in just a second how it's going to run. But basically, we're all going to use Jamboard. There are 3 main rules to a Grape Jam. You are going to get different scenarios. I will give you a scenario in about 1 minute's time. And you are going to write down as many challenges as you can think of for that scenario. But you can only write 1 challenge per sticky note. So what, oh, I'm so sorry. I get really like squirrel moment and someone just noticed that we're using a jam to do a Grape jam. That's cute. I was not intentional. Yeah, it's covering his face. So you'll only write one challenge per sticky note, and then you just keep making more and more sticky notes. And you can have more than one challenge per scenario. So if I give a scenario and you're like, oh, this would be a challenge, this would be a challenge. Example, like you're driving to work. I could come up with 100 challenges for that because I'm in LA and driving through traffic. And so for me, it's constantly like, am I going to get stuck on the 10 trying to get to work? That's a challenge. When I get to work, is the copier going to be open and available? Or are there 100 teachers waiting? Like all of these are different challenges that I'd be adding to sticky notes. These aren't real life challenges, but come up with your challenges, one per sticky note, and don't audit your challenges. They're going to go on your jam as like just everywhere. They don't need to be in an order. Don't do any of that. Focus on read the scenario and come up with all the challenges you can think of. So let me go back one. Like I said, we're all kind of guinea pigs here. So bear with me as we go through this. We have 36 of us in here. So I am going to only share 2 Jamboards because you can have 20 people for each one. Go into a jam, only 20 people in each one. You each need your own frame. And let me open up, not in here, let me open up in here to show Jamboard super fast. I'm giving you the down and dirty and not showing all the features right now because that's not the purpose for this group. And many of you have probably already used Jamboard, but if you have not, you're going to open it up. You're going to find your own frame. That's very important. I find my own frame by coming up here to the top where it says the 1 out of 20. And I expand this by just clicking on that. And I go to one that doesn't have little people above it. Like there's 3 people on frame 1 right now. So I don't want that one. I'm just going to go over and I'm going to find a frame where there's nobody. Somebody's already on 7. I'm going to take 4. I like the number 4. So now if someone comes, they're going to see my little, I don't know, whatever animal I am today. And I can put my name on here, but we're only using the sticky notes today. We're only using the sticky notes. Don't use the drawing. Don't use any of the other tools. This right here is the sticky note tool. If you want to get started, you can start by adding your name, but don't do anything else because that's all we're doing. Also, I know Rick is going to go crazy and do craziness. One color. And I'm going to say that intentionally because I don't want you to sit there and try to organize your different thoughts by color. So pick your sticky note color and use that one the whole time. So if I choose that my sticky note color is going to be pink, I'm sticking with pink. And what's going to happen, I'll pull up a scenario. I'll give you 1 minute and you're going to just write a challenge. So in here, this would be challenge 1 and then hit save. Now I've got challenge 2 and hit save. And you don't have to label them. Please don't. I'm writing challenge 1 as my example. Just write the challenge out, save, save, save. So super easy. That's all we're doing. Before we get going, are there any questions? I'm going to give you a couple seconds to find your own jam or your own frame. And I'll actually delete mine because I don't need a frame. Cool. Oh, perfect. Y'all are quick. Thank you. I'm going to come back here. If you have a question, come off of mute and just ask it really quickly. That will make it go a little faster. We're ready to try this. We're not going to sit there and organize our thoughts. I see some thumbs up. I'm excited. So we've got our 3 rules. It's quick. I'm giving you 1 minute. Struggle situation number 1. Oh, good. I'm glad you like this. I like this too. Your first one. All right. You are meeting with your administration, whether that's your principal, whoever that is, your admin. You're meeting with your admin about the new Google certified coaching program. That's your scenario. You're meeting with your admin about the new Google certified coaching program. Write down any challenge you can think of that might come up, that might happen, might occur. About 30 seconds. Ten more seconds. All right. So finish your last sticky note. Some of you may have only come up with one challenge. Some of you may have 10. I know for me, I have probably 5,000. But that's for another day. Stick with the same sticky note color. Don't change it. Your next challenge. You are identifying challenges with a teacher. Kind of funny. So you're identifying challenges with the teacher. What challenges might you come up with? 1 minute. Oh, sorry, 30 seconds. We're actually 20 seconds.
Get it together, Becky.
I know. I'm ready. 10 seconds.
No pressure or anything, eh, guys? Nothing like spitting out ideas on a time frame, right?
Yes.
If you're wondering what the Innovator Academy feels like, imagine this with a fail bell.
Oh, perfect. Then I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yay, 20.
A fail bell? Did you say a fail bell? I hope it's a fail forward bell.
Oh, yeah. Good enough, but there's a bell.
All right.
Pivot bell.
Oh yeah, you struggle, you come up with the realization that this isn't working, you ring it, and then everybody applauds and cheers for you. And then you have to start all over again.
Oh, nice. All right. I'm ready for that. Next challenge. Or sorry, next scenario. You are brainstorming tech-based strategies with a teacher. What challenges might you come up with while brainstorming tech-based strategies with a teacher? Th 30 seconds, a little less. Sorry about my squeaky doors. If you could hear that.
Becky, if you apologize one more time, I'm going to come find you. Like
find
you
me.
are doing a great job. Nobody's worried about your squeaky doors.
Well, you're
Your
at 5
timing. No.
This is the part where she
complains.
apologizes.
Anybody
for apologizing.
complains. Yes.
I'm so sorry. Apologizing.
Becky, are you Canadian?
No, I'm Nebraskan.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. So when we were in London for the Innovator Academy, Dean Stokes made a moment where he apologized to a certain level. He called it Canadianly sorry. And all the Canadians in the room were like, where did that come from? Why was I attacked?
Oh, that's funny.
I'm sorry.
All right. This is your last challenge or your last scenario. You are supporting a resistant teacher. And if you've never had to do this, it will happen. I promise.
This will happen more times than you can count.
Yes. Coaching can have a bad name sometimes.
There is a lot of research behind behavioral insights about these types of teachers. I would love to dive into it a little bit more down the line.
Oh, I like that. You have 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm into that.
My Jamboard is jamming. Meaning it's jammed. It's getting stuck.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 10 seconds.
I'm not gonna be able to make it.
You got it.
I'm loving these comments. And time. Go finish your last sticky note. Courtney, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cause you pain. There is reason behind the madness. And that's because now we're going to sort it. And I'm not going to give you all the scientific research because I don't know it, so I won't pretend to. But I do know that it's because if you're changing colors, you're internally coming up with some sort of system or order, whether it's by topic or how much it means to you, all of that. You don't want that. So I know it causes pain, but it's okay. So now what you're going to do is I want you to rank the challenges that you wrote down, rank them from the most frustrating to least frustrating. It's most frustrating on the left-hand side, least frustrating on the right. And you might need to, make yours go a few lines. I don't know how many challenges you came up with, but try to get them in one line if you can. And I'm showing my hands as if you can see them, but like the image. And I'll give you about a minute to do that. Don't overthink it. I see some of your faces. You look like none of this is going to determine any major life decisions.
However, that being said, Google EC will totally change your life, just like Google Innovator Program will.
Yes, yes.
Oh, in this case, do I have to make sticky notes for each one of these, or how do you want me to write them?
You weren't able to do the sticky notes? All right.
No, I got stuck.
You got stuck. Pilly, let me share this with you afterwards, and we can always do it again together, or you can kind of just watch someone else's board if they're okay with that. Yeah, try to get one line. More of a...
You want me to, like the ones that I could do, you want me to rank them from letters?
Yeah. The ones you could do. Okay, you had to do more than one line. That is A-okay if you had to do more than one line. Typically, when you do this in person, you do want it to be one line, and so you actually probably would use a set of sticky notes. And I'll show you why in the next one. So if yours changes a bit, that's okay. So you now have your one line. Now I want you to rank the challenges by the number of people affected. So you're going to go up or down. If it affects more people, you're going to move it up higher. If it affects fewer people, you're going to move it down. So you still have it in order of most frustrating to least frustrating, but now we need to go up or down based off of how many people it affects. People could include students, could include teachers, parents. Just think of which of these challenges impacts the most people.
I'm definitely overthinking this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I have them already, I think, in my mind as I was sorting them the first time. I was almost doing it subconsciously that way. Like it was so important because it seemed to affect more people.
Now,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. And this being my first time doing a Jamboard, because like I said, y'all are guinea pigs, I can imagine that that's going to happen. So yours may just start looking like, well, I might be backwards, but yours may go straight down like that, where Jared, Have you heard of this happening frequently, where people already internally go by who it affects the most to who it affects the least? Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Yeah, that's not uncommon at all. That's easy. That happens a lot.
Perfect. All right. So then, now.
My Jamboards are frozen. I can't read anybody else's stuff.
Oh no, we're having a jam issue. It's getting jammed.
That's right.
That was.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat my grape jam right here.
I love it. Too sticky. Yes. I love you all. So now we're going to go with which problem are you most passionate about solving? And oh, why am I thrown off here? So the problem you're most passionate about solving, am I missing? I think I'm on it, is going to be the problem that is over here on your left-hand side and raised highest to the top in a quadrant. Would that be? Am I wording this
I
right?
think there was
Jared?
another part where you circled the ones you're most passionate about.
That's what I'm missing. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Devin. See? Mornings.
You got it.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so coming back, take two. Which problem am I most passionate about solving? Circle those ones. Don't circle every single one. You can't solve everything in one day. That's exactly why these had circles on them. And you can use any tool you want to circle them. And if you just want to change the sticky note color, that works for me too, because we aren't using pens and paper.
I know with just with coaching experience doing a grape jam with teachers, some of them can get really frustrated with this, and then some of them will just cause their brain to open up to just so much new thinking. So it's pretty cool. But don't get frustrated when the teacher gets frustrated. That's the only thing, because that's where I start that struggle too. Like, come on, this is a good idea. Just do it with me.
You just got to flow with it.
That's right.
I like that way of wording it. All right, so now we're going to look at where you're going to focus. And that's kind of going to be our focus going into our next meet is what challenges are you seeing that are the furthest to the left, the highest up, and circled? And I'm hoping you don't have more than like one or two, maybe three. But those are the ones you want to focus on. So you might want to draw that and make that super clear. And then all I'm going to ask is, if you don't mind, and you don't have to, but if you don't mind, share what your focus challenge is that you came up with. Share that in our chat right now so we can kind of see each other's focus challenges. So I'm curious if they're similar. And I see, Dr. Karen Jackson, you mentioned they aren't expecting this. Are you talking teachers? Are you talking students, admin?
Yes, I put that in the, well, I actually started it with the admin, like when I was trying to sit down and talk to them about it in my mind. And then, but that kind of also applies for the teachers. The teachers aren't expecting the coaching role is what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
No, I think that's spot on. Thank you. I had a feeling it was one of those where once you wrote it down, I was like, oh, this actually is a lot bigger. Teachers resistant to being on camera. Challenges are personality-based, not problem-based. These are interesting. Okay, I am going to gather all of these. Don't delete your jams, please. I do want to read through them because I'm doing this. I'm not able to see them right now, so don't delete. But this is an example of a jam board. And a grape jam, a grape jam. And what you would then do with this is have teachers bring you their top challenges or their focus challenges. And that's where you would start your coaching with them. That's where you would then come together one-on-one and dissect where you're going next. And I'm pulling that from what I read from the curriculum. So I like this activity because it's not something in the coaching world that I've ever done. I typically am told, I need you to go work with this teacher, or I have a teacher reach out and say, I'm having trouble with classroom management. And then we have to spend however long, dissecting what the actual challenge is, because it's very rarely just classroom management. It's usually something more. So it's a fun thing to try. There are examples on the other page that's in the shared drive for what questions or scenarios you can come up with teachers. So I put this in the chat, share your challenges. I see these. Please read through them. I'm not going to read through them all right now. And we'll use those to guide our next session. We are coming towards the end of our training. Oh, someone's already doing, yes, the Grape Jam with others. We are coming towards the end where we have an opportunity for a Q&A. We have Jared here to answer any questions. He's gone through this sheet in the drive and answered questions, but does anyone want to pop in and ask any questions or throw them in the chat?
I had one, Jared.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that some people are like super go-getter, gung-ho, like, and I think one of the pieces that I really want to use this as a process. So I was super excited about you all putting this together and this idea of like rolling it out and it being like this iterative process. And so I think, I guess what I'm wondering is, when I went to the pre-sessions, like it seemed to talk about the idea of using the process of the application to guide what you're doing over this school year or over a certain amount of time. And I think in my own head, I had an idea that like I might have some things that I already could submit, but if I want to make it worthy, I want to actually like do stuff with it during my school year, as opposed to finding things that fit this process. So my plan was going to be like either have a deadline in my own head of like January, February, or even the end of the school year. And I just didn't know if that sounds like a reasonable goal, like to work on it throughout the school year and then submit by May, or, you know, like, or does this group have a goal for like when we would be through things so that we would feel ready to apply, I guess would be my question.
I would definitely try to live the model with a few people before submitting your final application. Just because it kind of gives you that experience of doing that challenge-based model, coaching with them, or with them, because there's lots of different challenge-based coaching models out there. So you may have done something in the past similar to it, but I would try to live the model. But it's also a personal decision too on whether or not you feel ready to submit your application.
I guess I want to jump on that question too with Stephanie, because like my role, there are lots of titles for like instructional tech coaches or coaches in general. I'm an instructional tech specialist, so there are times when my role technically isn't to be a coach at this time. So I was planning on doing kind of the year route, there was part of me that was wondering, I was thinking this is going to be my professional development for me so that I can improve in my current position, even if it's not fully applicable. Do you think that's valid to do? Because I know we've got a lot of people with different backgrounds, and I guess I just want to know, even though I might not be in a quote unquote coaching role fully, if I should still go for it.
Definitely go for it. I know in my experience, I was very similar to you. I was a technology integration specialist. That was our title before. And it was basically, it was doing anything and everything that was related to tech, whether it was fixing a printer or showing them how to do an app. But trying to do this model, now my situation was different because we were invited to the DLP, principals were brought on. There was a lot more buy-in from the district and from at the school level. But definitely try it, because it helped redefine my role to be not viewed as the the printer fixer or what have you. So definitely, So definitely try and get that conversation started with teachers. Be like, hey, I can do a lot more than doing all this extra stuff. And try to get that conversation and relationship building to see if you can get that started.
Thank you. That's really great to hear. Thank you so much. Because I was thinking, maybe I'll apply at the end of the school year, so I have some stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of times, if they come in and say, hey, I need you to fix my smartboard, it could go, a conversation could start, well, yeah, I'll come fix it. How are you using the smartboard in your classroom? And kind of start getting that conversation. Go, what challenges are you having with your smartboard or with using your smartboard with teachers or with your students? And just try to let that conversation flow as naturally as you can. And then say, hey, you mind if I come in and help you do some like coaching or co-teaching and just kind of see if it can develop through that. Because I know my teachers were very resistant with it at the beginning as well. So it was like, wait a minute, you're doing what? So you're not coming in and fixing my stuff? Oh, no, I'll come fix it. But, how about we have a conversation about, where can we take things? And I was very scared at first. I'll be honest. It was very scary at first, but you'll actually be surprised. Teachers are going to be open to that. And once you get a few people on board, it will probably take off like wildfire, like it did for me. Your early adopters will jump on like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I would love to have you come in. Let's have a conversation. And then it'll kind of slowly snowball. And because I know at first you look at that and go 8 to 10 teachers a cycle. Holy crap. How am I going to get that? And you may not get that your first couple cycles. And I wouldn't don't put that kind of pressure on you, let things happen naturally. But at some point it will happen and you'll have too many teachers that you'll lose your mind.
I have a quick question for you, Jared. And if it's too centered on me specifically personally, we can have this conversation another time because I don't want to waste anybody else's time if it's not applicable. Our district doesn't even have tech coaches. And we're a huge, huge, huge district. I mean, we are tremendous. We have an entire ed tech department, but the ed tech department surprisingly has nothing to do with the teachers in the classroom or doing anything. The ed tech department right now is just like in talks with Google trying to get us the enterprise account. Okay. So I was the only trainer at my school. We were 3,100 students, approximately 200 teachers. I was the only Google trainer. Everybody knew it. So I was always the one that did all of like the coaching and the personal, the one-on-one, but it's not built in to our current system. Do you see what I'm saying? So, in my mind, I would love to be able to tell my administration, hey, look, this is a real thing. Look at this and let me maybe just teach 3 classes and then spend the rest of my time doing the coaching. But in my heart, and I don't mean to sound like a defeatist, in my heart, that's not going to happen because it's not an official district mandated, so to speak. So really, I guess the crux of my question is, if I'm going to continue to be a full-time teacher, and they've already announced that we're going back virtually, which might make this more manageable, but then there's that management part of it, because at least in the physical school, I had planning periods, and I could, go around and visit teachers during that time, because that's pretty much how I spent my planning period. What's your advice?
That's a unique challenge. I would say, and we could talk more about this one-on-one, but I would say if you can, and I can help you with this, have your school administration or even the people in charge of your instructional technology department reach out to people in schools that have done the DLP model for the last 3 years, because that might help get them to see the value in it. And see that this is a real thing, and that it could benefit them. Like I could think of quite a few principals that could help in that conversation. Even my own director of technology can also lend his voices to say, hey, this is a real thing. It has made a huge impact in our schools and for our faculty. That ripple effect, that they talk about in the program is a real effect.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Jared.
No problem.
All right. I think we are, I don't want to cut anyone's questions off. Feel free to throw them in the chat. I also want to respect all of your time, and I know we started a little bit late. So I do want to
and everybody can reach out, any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out to me through direct message or anything like that. I'm more than happy to help.
Yeah, thank you so much. And also throw it in the open chat too. But yeah, reach out, and we're all here to support each other. Our next meet is going to be the third Saturday of the month. We were going with the second Saturday of the month, but apparently that's like booked for the rest of the year. I don't know how the second was apparently the popular Saturday. So whatever the third Saturday of the month is at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can tell who made this slide deck, the person who's in PDT. So the next one is going to be on the 15th, August 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I know that's 12 p.m. Eastern time. And then that's another time for everybody else. And our first book study date is July 22nd at 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and go from there for the other times. So those are going to be our next times. We'll record and do all of that. And if you can't join the book study, but you want to do the slides, perfect. And make it work for you. We're in this together. We're going to learn together. If you have ideas, share them out. And yeah, this is
Becky, the one on July 22nd is a meet. And also the one on August 15th is a meet.
Yeah, we're gonna stick with meets so that way we can actually collaborate and talk together as opposed to just listening to us.
Yeah, we wanted to do like that. The book study is the time for the deep dive. So basically you guys will have a couple of weeks to like chat about the questions and discuss asynchronously together through the Google slide. But then the actual meet will be like to share, maybe it inspired something. Maybe you want to share an experience that you successfully had as a result of the responses that you put in the chat, or from a resource that somebody else has shared on the Google slide book study as well. And so it's a great way to share and grow together. So yeah.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you, Georgina. And if you aren't doing the book study with us now, that's totally fine. If right now is not the time for you, that is, I don't want to say it's separate. It's definitely part of this. And we will send gentle reminders, but you're not required to do the book study. You can do everything else and skip that part. And we are going to, do we want to end with this or do we want to go into this next meet? Just because we've gone over on time. I'm seeing a lot of head nodding that we should probably call it a day, and I'm totally fine with that. Thank you, Georgina, for putting this together. We will add a choice board in next time when we meet. So there's our starting note. I gave you a little glimpse of next time. Thank you all so much for joining, and we will see you on.
Thanks to you, Becky, for starting all this. It's wonderful.
It was,
Well
you
done.
know, the world of Twitter.
It was really great.
Go, Becky.
Becky, you were like leading a little mini Innovator Academy in here without even knowing it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It's good. It's really good.
Hey,
now
best
you
of luck
have
to anybody applying, getting those in today.
I was
Crunch
about to
time.
say, now you got to stop
it is.
recording so I can say, share this with innovator people who are judging and help me out. No, just kidding. But we can't stop recording.
You don't need our help. I'm gonna stop recording
Yeah,
right now.
Becky, you're awesome. So yeah, I agree with
Even if
Bonnie.
I-
No